Welcome back, listeners, to Red Hunt, where delve into the captivating and unpredictable world of relationship stories shared by our Reddit community. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for your weekly dose of love, heartbreak, and everything in between. Am I the antagonist for getting a tattoo my wife doesn't like? Over the past year, I've been planning to get a funny little tattoo of a skeleton. I have discussed this with my wife and we have joked about it. Last week, while we were on a walk, I asked if we could stop by the tattoo parlor to make an appointment for my upcoming birthday. I wanted to get it done while I had time off and to mark the occasion. My wife agreed, so we went. I talked to the artist about the tattoo, showed them reference images, and my wife saw them and giggled. I made the appointment, paid a deposit, and the artist kindly showed my wife all the bleached animal skulls and taxidermy in the shop. She's into that kind of thing, being a nature biology nerd. We left the shop and continued joking about the tattoo on the way home. However, today my wife told me that she doesn't like the tattoo and skeletons creep her out. I pointed out that it was no different from the bleached animal skulls or anatomical displays featuring real preserved human corpses that she has seen and studied before. I reminded her that she had a whole year to decide how she felt about it before I put money down on it. At the end of the day, it's just artwork. Now I feel uncomfortable and irritated because I had planned a whole sleeve on that arm with skulls and skeletons. I have been upfront and excited about it for a year, and she never expressed any negative feelings. Am I the asshole for basically telling her that she had plenty of chances to complain, and now it's too late? Note, I can cancel the appointment, but I will lose the deposit. Your wife had ample time to express her discomfort with the tattoo before you made the appointment and put down a deposit. It's not fair for her to suddenly change her mind and expect you to cancel the appointment and lose the money. It's just a piece of artwork and shouldn't be causing this much tension in your relationship. Am I the antagonist for venting in front of my brother's pregnant fiancée? First of all, I want to say that I do not get along with my half-brother, Brody. From stealing and lying to anyone around him, he is someone I don't respect or care about. However, although I feel this way, I am at least mature enough not to make dramatic scenes in front of people. I try to keep my issues with him private and quiet. I was attending my stepfather's birthday recently. When I first arrived, I was in a good mood because I knew a few people who were coming that I was excited to see. But half an hour after I had arrived, my full brother, Ivan, and my stepbrother were mixing drinks together and offering it to people. I don't drink, but instead of accepting that, they pressured me to finish it. I just left, which soured my mood, and I retreated to a quiet space of the garden to relax. Brody's fiancée, Carly, is heavily pregnant. She made her way over to the area I was sitting with a bunch of the family. Now, I don't talk to Carly at all. Up until this point, I was sure she knew about mine and Brody's issues, so I figured she didn't want to talk to me out of support for Brody or something. So when she sat down 2 seats from me, I didn't pay her any attention but knew she was there. Fast forward an hour and suddenly my stepsister's boyfriend, Willie, approached me. He was tipsy and had noticed Brody and I avoiding each other. So he sat down beside me and began to ask what would it take for you and Brody to be brothers. I was vague at first, just saying it won't happen. It doesn't really matter. It is just how it is. But he insisted on talking more about it. Being in a bad mood from earlier, I decided to lay it all out for him. I told him about times Brody stole, times he lied, times he burnt my bed and destroyed my stuff. I mentioned the day I left home at 16 was because of him. Now, I won't lie and say I didn't think about Carly as I spoke. I knew she could hear me, so when she got up and left the area, I noticed it. Willie kept trying to get me to believe in some family as family. We must always forgive, but I wasn't listening. Which is why I noticed Brody, looking angry, walked through the party and said something to our mother. As soon as I saw that, I thought I knew what happened. Carly had told Brody about what I said and he was mad. But after a few minutes, Ivan walked up to me and said quietly, "Carly is pregnant. That means she stresses out easily, so shut your mouth next time." What I didn't know is, Carly hadn't heard these stories. I didn't know she would get upset, and although my feelings on Brody remain the same, I feel bad for Carly. I know being pregnant is hard enough and I want to know, am I the asshole, am I the antagonist, for venting in front of her? It sounds like Carly wasn't aware of the issues between you and Brody, so it wasn't intentional on your part to upset her. You had every right to vent and express your frustrations, especially if Willie was the one who kept pushing the conversation. It's unfortunate that it turned out this way, but it's important for everyone to understand the full context of your relationship with Brody. One of my secondary school bullies reached out to me and apologized, but I want nothing to do with her. So for context, we are both 22 years old now, and we were decent friends when we both started secondary school. After a few months, the friendship turned sour and she started to bully me, including physically hurting me. Many people at my school did not like her because of her awful attitude, and she essentially turned everyone against her. A couple of weeks ago, she sent me a message on Facebook apologizing to me. At first, I somewhat appreciated the apology, but the more she messaged me, the less inclined I felt to forgive her. it became fairly obvious that she was only apologizing to me for her own selfish reasons. I have realized that she doesn't really have friends besides her fiancé and a couple of people she talks to. Apologizing to me was probably an easy way for her to find a new person to talk to. It became obvious when she started reassuring me that she had changed as a person and that she had trauma from school. Initially, I was fine with responding and being polite. However, she has been initiating conversations with me a lot and has pushed the idea of meeting up multiple times. I have tried to brush her off by saying that I am away from home for university and won't be back for a while, which is true. But I am finding it very difficult to express why I don't want to be friends with her, and I would like her to stop messaging me. To make matters worse, since talking to me, she made a post about being in an open relationship, and it was obvious that she wanted me to see it. She even messaged me the next day talking about strange guys messaging her on Snapchat, but clarifying that she wasn't cheating on her fiancé because she's in an open relationship. This behavior struck me as very strange and made me even more uncomfortable. Since our conversation, I have noticed more posts from her about how lonely she is and how she's tired of fake people and just wants a trustworthy friend. I have responded to her messages out of politeness, but whenever the conversation dies with her responding with just a single word, I let it die. Our conversations have thankfully become less frequent, but I think it's time for me to try and put a stop to this because it's becoming very uncomfortable for me. I do feel at fault for not shutting it down earlier. My main issue is figuring out how to word it and what to say. Does anyone have any advice for this kind of situation? What is the best way for me to put a stop to this? I think I have a fear of coming across as rude, but I suppose it's irrational to worry after what she did to me. It's totally understandable that you don't want to be friends with your old bully, especially if you feel like her motives for reaching out are selfish. If you're ready to shut it down, it's important to be honest and direct with her. You could try saying something like, "I appreciate your apology, but I don't think continuing a friendship is the right decision for me. I hope you can understand and respect that. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your own comfort and well-being in this situation. My friend has a new girlfriend and we're all uncomfortable. My partner and I have been together for 2 years, and during this time, I have become friends with his old school friends. One of these friends, Bob, has a history of dating girls much younger than him. For example, his ex-girlfriend was 17 when they first got together while he was 24. After breaking up with his ex-girlfriend, Bob quickly got together with a girl who was recently hired at his workplace, and he is her manager. The whole group of friends, including Bob, me, and 2 other friends, were invited to meet her at a pub quiz. We didn't know her age until we arrived, as Bob hadn't mentioned anything about her. It was clear that she looked much younger, and during the meeting, she got extremely drunk while the rest of us were sober. This made us all feel uncomfortable, and we discussed it when Bob and his girlfriend weren't around. We haven't seen her since then, but they are still together, so we know we will see her again eventually. This relationship is inappropriate because of the age gap and the power dynamic between them at work. Bob claims that she made the first move and feels flattered by it, but he struggles with low self-esteem, doesn't usually get attention from women. However, he also doesn't put in much effort in dating. My partner, who is Bob's best friend, wants to address our discomfort as a group, but we don't know how to approach the situation. We are unsure if it is our place to discuss it with him. We understand the influence of relationships when you're young, and we believe this relationship is unhealthy. The girl already has a complicated family life and mental health issues, and Bob isn't mentally stable either. They seem to have little in common, and neither of them is in a position to support each other well. Plus, Bob is her boss, he is 9 years older than her, and she is a teenager. I would appreciate advice on whether I should even have an opinion on this situation, and how we can communicate our discomfort without damaging the friendship. I am concerned that he may become defensive and fall out with us, but I believe it would be better for both of them if they weren't together. How can we address this without ruining our friendship? Hey there, it definitely sounds like a tricky situation to navigate. While it might not be our place to dictate who someone can date, it's understandable why you and your partner feel uncomfortable with this relationship. Maybe you can approach the topic gently with your friend, expressing your concerns about the age gap, power dynamic, and overall compatibility. It's important to approach it from a place of genuine care and concern, so hopefully he'll be open to the conversation and you can maintain the friendship without any hard feelings. Am I the antagonist for not inviting my sister to my wedding? I am a 22-year-old woman, and I plan on not inviting my 20-year-old sister to my wedding. I recently got engaged over the Christmas break and have been briefly planning my wedding. However, I don't plan inviting my sister. She has constantly bullied me and tormented me for years, and I finally had enough. I recently did an 8-hour car ride, one way, to go to her college graduation, and the first thing she said to me is, "Wow, you've gained weight." I have actually lost weight since the last time she saw me a few years ago, and my weight is not within my control due to medical conditions. Here's the issue. My mother told me that she will not attend my wedding unless my sister is invited. I love my mom dearly, but it is unfair to me as I believe this is my day, and I do not want to surround myself with toxic people. My mom then proceeded to give me attitude about inviting my great aunt, but not her mother, to whom I'm not related. I am not a confrontational person whatsoever, and I've never really stood up to my mom before. Am I wrong for sending her this message? I want my family to be there, but I'm considering not inviting them at all. By the way, my mom asked how much my wedding would cost and said it's too expensive and that it would probably end in divorce anyway. I feel very insulted by that, and I am truly considering not inviting her. Anyways, here's the text message she sent me, out of the blue I might add. And Darlene, great aunt, is not going to be impressed if her mother isn't invited either, so unless you don't want any of your family there at all, you might want to think twice about your decision. And here's my response. Hey, at this point in time, I will formally invite Darlene, great aunt's son, and his girlfriend. However, I will not invite Emily, my sister. I understand that you want us to get along, but at the end of the day, it is mine and Caleb's wedding, and what we say goes. If you choose not to attend because Emily is not invited, I understand that. However, this is a milestone in my life, and I don't want you to miss it. I've tried being there for Emily. I've traveled 9 hours to her graduation, and she wasn't grateful at all. She was being a bully. I've put up with her bullying and torment for 18 years, and I've truly had enough. I really don't want to be around her negative behavior and bullying on my day. If you choose to come, that would be lovely. If you choose to stay home, just know that you missed out on your loving daughter's wedding. You know I wouldn't make this choice unless it bothered me. I'm not confrontational, but I really don't want her there, and nothing can change that. Caleb's family supports me no matter what choice you make. Am I wrong for not wanting to invite my sister and potentially not inviting my whole family? Hey, I totally get where you're coming from. It's your wedding day, and you shouldn't have to surround yourself with toxic people. It's completely understandable that you don't want your sister there, especially after all the bullying and negativity. It's your decision who you invite, and if your mom can't accept that, then it's her loss if she chooses not to come. Don't feel guilty about wanting to prioritize your own happiness on your special day. Am I the antagonist for giving away a Christmas gift my ex-girlfriend's mom gave me? I, 27-year-old female, and my then-girlfriend, Jane, 26-year-old female alias, did our Christmas exchange on Thanksgiving Day with her parents. Jane's older sister was due to deliver her first child close to Christmas, and they wanted to be there. Jane made me promise that we would only get gifts for each other and not buy anything for the parents. That is hard for me as gift giving is my love language. I obliged anyway because I didn't want to make her parents uncomfortable. Everything went great, and we both loved what we got each other. I was helping her dad in the kitchen, and her mom brought over a wrapped box. She said she just couldn't pass up getting something for me as well. I thanked her and apologized for not having something in return, but she brushed it off. I'm really into skincare, and so is Jane's mom. I don't get to spend a lot of money on it because my current job does not pay me well. Her mom decided I deserved to have something nice and got me almond smoothing and beautifying milk concentrate. I really appreciated the gesture and thanked her, but had to tell her I couldn't use it because I am allergic to almonds. She was mortified. She knew I was allergic to peanuts but did not even think about asking if I was allergic to other nuts. I tried to give the gift back, but she told me just to keep it and she would give Jane the receipt so she could exchange it for something else nice. Over the next few weeks, Jane and I started getting into a lot of petty fights. One being about how she believes I embarrassed her mom and should have kept my mouth shut and just let her exchange the gift in secret. She later apologized and said her mom scolded her. We got back on good terms but ended up breaking up right after New Year's, and because of all the traveling and fighting, we never returned the gift. I thought about taking it back myself for store credit, but I had no idea where her mom got it from. I was talking to my sister about what to do, and she suggested that I give her what I had, and she would buy me a few nicer products that she knew I would like. I agreed because why not? I wasn't going to use it, and she was going to spend the money anyway. We made the trade and that was done. Over the weekend, Jane and I saw each other at a wedding shower. 2 of our mutual friends are getting married to each other, and we are both in the wedding, opposite bridal parties. She suggested that when we all go dress shopping next month, we could stop by and do the exchange. I explained what I had done, and she flipped out. She called me a selfish asshole for just giving away something her mom had bought me, suggesting I did it out of spite and to purposely hurt her. Some of our friends are agreeing that it was an asshole move, and I should have at least told her before I gave it away. Others say I didn't do anything wrong as I was going to exchange it anyway. Am I the asshole? You had a genuine reason for not being able to use the gift due to your allergies, and you even tried to return it to her mom. It's unfair for Jane to accuse you of being selfish and doing it out of spite, especially when you made an effort to find a solution by trading it with your sister for products you could actually use. Communication about the situation could have been better, but overall it seems like a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.